4 a.m. first fruits. And Job 1, wow. This is a chapter by chapter Bible study series, and we are in Job, honey, so you better buckle up. I even changed my fruit emoji title for this book to lemons, because when God gives you lemons. Chapter 1. There was a man in the country of Uz named Job. He was a man of complete integrity who feared God and turned away from evil. He had 7 sons and 3 daughters. His estate included 7,000 sheep and goats, 3,000 camels, 500 yoke of oxen, 500 female donkeys, and a very large number of servants. Job was the greatest man among all the people of the East. Blameless doesn't imply sinless perfection. Only Jesus was that. He did the right things. He made the right sacrifices when he needed to, and he feared God. He wasn't perfect, never needing a sacrifice. He had to make sacrifices for his sins. He just did what he was supposed to do. Verse 4, his sons used to take turns having banquets at their homes. They would send an invitation to their 3 sisters to eat and drink with them. Whenever a round of banqueting was over, Job would send for his children and purify them, rising early in the morning to offer burnt offerings for all of them. For Job thought, perhaps my children have sinned, having cursed God in their hearts. And this was Job's regular practice. Job knew the necessity of Psalms 51:10, create in me a clean heart, O Lord, and he even went as far to make sure his children were good to go. Someone get this man a mug that says world's #1 dad. Verse 6, one day the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came with them. Sons of God were non-human spirits, and in NLT it said Satan, the accuser, was with them. The Lord asked Satan, "Where have you come from?" Satan responded, "From roaming through the earth and walking around on it." Then the Lord said to Satan, "Have you considered my servant Job? No one else on earth is like him, a man of perfect integrity, who fears God and turns away from evil." We ain't gonna brush past that one. You're telling me that there is a cosmic reality where God and other spiritual beings are observing earth and human faithfulness, and then they are discussing it together and making plans with God being the sovereign one over it all? God brought Job to Satan's attention. Satan is this supreme cynic of heavenly court. The Bible calls him an accuser. God bringing up Job, and Job's blamelessness is setting up Job. We are about to get into it, with bad things happening to good people, and why God allows it, and why he sets it up. Satan answered the Lord, "Does Job fear God for nothing? Haven't you placed a hedge around him, his household, and everything he owns? You have blessed the work of his hands, and his possessions have increased in the land. But stretch out your hand and strike everything he owns, and he will surely curse you to your face." Satan is suggesting that the only reason why Job is like this is because he's in his own little secure universe where there's a hedge of protection and nothing bad has happened to him. He is saying that Job's faithfulness is transactional. He's saying that the root cause for Job's faithfulness is rooted in material things. God says in verse 12, "Very well," the Lord told Satan, "everything he owns is in your power. However, do not lay a hand on Job himself." So Satan left the Lord's presence. One day when Job's sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine in their oldest brother's house, a messenger came to Job and reported, while the oxen were plowing and donkeys grazing nearby, the Sabaeans swooped down and took them away. They struck down the servants with a sword, and I alone have escaped to tell you. He was still speaking when another messenger came and reported that God's fire fell from heaven. God gave Satan permission to control the things that happen to Job, but God was in control of the fire, and God is in control of natural disasters. Yeah, God does allow things like this. It burned the sheep and the servants and devoured them, and I alone have escaped to tell you. The messenger was still speaking when yet another came and reported, the Chaldeans formed 3 bands and made a raid on the camels and took them away. They struck down the servants with a sword, and I alone escaped to tell you. He was still speaking. He just lost everything, y'all. He was still speaking when another messenger came and reported, your sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine in their oldest brother's house. Suddenly, a powerful wind swept in from the desert and struck the 4 corners of the house. It collapsed on the young people so that they passed away. And I alone have escaped to tell you. Why do good people suffer? This whole chapter is titled Satan's First Test of Job. God granted Satan permission to test Job, to take away everything that he has to see if he would be faithful. A refining. I don't know if you've ever heard the story about what people do to silver to refine it. They place it in the hottest part of the fire, and they have to watch it while it is being burned to make sure it doesn't destroy the silver, so it gets purified. All the purities get burnt out. And you know, when that silver is done being burnt in the fire, you know what they do? They watch the silver, and once they can see their own image in that silver, the silver is done. This is why bad things happen to good people. Because good people, I'm about to say a word that doesn't exist, good people get gooder. This is Job's reaction in his grief. Then Job stood up, tore his robe, and shaved his head. He fell to the ground. He tore his robe and shaved his head. Grief is changing his appearance here. He then fell to the ground and worshipped. He fell to the ground and worshipped, saying, I come from my mother's womb, and now I will leave this life. The Lord gives, and the Lord takes away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Throughout all this, Job did not sin or blame God for anything. In his darkest hour, he blessed God. If you're not mind blown after reading this chapter, I don't know how to help you. I mean, the cosmic reality of a dimension where heavenly hosts and beings are looking down on earth and discussing human faithfulness, human trials with a divine audience. Whoa. God controls the actions of Satan, and he also controls the natural disasters, the fire, the wind. God is in control. The devil may ask for permission to sift us like wheat, like he's doing with Job, but God is in control. And just like he's watching us when we are being burned and in the fire, he is watching us to make sure we don't get destroyed. Satan has boundaries. He is not all powerful. Ooh, I can't wait for chapter 2. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video when we do chapter 2 of Job. And that will be on Monday.